Well, it's Saturday night, and you all know what that means. If you probably know, this is AEW Collision with their go home show a day before heading to London for Forbidden Door. Now, we're only going to focus on AEW Collision, folks, so there's a lot of things that's going to happen before we head to the Forbidden Door. We do have, of course, matches like, of course, Sky Team teaming up with Hiromu Takahashi to take on the Don Callis family. We even have the GYV, the Grizzled Young Vets, taking on, of course, the Gates of Agony, and plenty other matches as well. And then, as always, we'll cap up our episode as usual with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of wrestling, such as what events the promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough with the jibber jabbers. It's time to get down to the business. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we're only going to be doing a one review episode. So, to get that started, let's begin with our only review, AEW Collision. Alrighty then. So, AEW Collision. As you know, they were in Glasgow, which is in Scotland, in case anybody asks. So basically, they are doing this is a show right before we head to London. Now we open up with Don Callis, that little snake in the grass, as you know, doing his promo to introduce Hechicero. As you probably know, he is going to be participating in the chance to get the ROH World Championship from Bandito. However, Hechicero will be teaming up with Josh Alexander, Rocky Romero, and Lance Archer to take on the members of Sky Team, Sky Scorpion, Dante, and Darius Martin, better known as Top Flight. However, their fourth partner is in fact the Time Bomb himself, Hiromu Takahashi. Now, as you all know, Hiromu is the #1 contender to challenge for the TNT Championship at Forbidden Door, which is something that, of course, Kyle Fletcher decided to say, "Hey, New Japan, send your very best to me." Well, he answered the call. Now, of course, you would assume in every aspect that the Don Callis family will find ways to pick up their wins. However, no. We did see some great cohesion with both the Sky Flight and, of course, Hiromu. So Hiromu was the one who picked up the win when he applied a time bomb Q onto who was it? onto Rocky, and just like that, uno, dos, tres, se acabó. However, in the post-match, as you probably can guess, well, Kyle Fletcher is looking right straight into Hiromu's eyes, determined that he's going to beat him in Forbidden Door. So we'll see how things will get there once we are in Forbidden Door. Now, our next match, we have a surprise appearance from someone who many of you may know back from WWE and NXT mostly, Isla Dawn, making her AEW Collision debut, taking on the Megasis, Megan Bayne. Now, of course, we know that Isla Dawn has been released from the company months ago. There were talks about recently where she might end up. Some people say that she might end up in AEW, so we'll see how that goes. But her opponent she has to face is Megan Bayne, is someone who, as you know, has been making a lot of noise and racking up some wins. We're talking about Megan Bayne. But however, Isla Dawn was unsuccessful to defeat her when, of course, Megan Bayne applied the running bomb, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, our next match, we have a women's tag team match. We have Queen Aminata and Willow Nightingale taking on 2/3 of the Triangle of Madness, Sky Blue and Julia Hart. Now, Tekla was not present at the we speak. Now, of course, we have seen the Triangle of Madness determined to pick up wins no matter where they go. But in the end, it was Queen Aminata who picked up the win when she gave, of course, Sky Blue off with her head. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. However, while the celebration started, well, Tekla decided to show up and cut the feed from there. And then, of course, we did see Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. As you know, she is in league with the Triangle Madness. But that's when, of course, showed up. Feel my wrath. That's right. Harley Quinn showed up. So did Chris Statlander. Now, as you know, everybody hightailed it once, of course, they realized they were messing with Chris Statlander. So that's how things rolled up from there. Now, Lex Nier had a nice conversation with Daniel Garcia. As you know, Daniel Garcia is not emotional for losing the match for the technical spectacular, where it was determined who was going to be facing Zack Sabre Jr. For the IWGP World Title, which would have been a great moment for him in his career. But, however, Nigel was the first one to do it, so of course Daniel Garcia is going to stand by his side. Now, back in the ring, we did see Max Caster once again with his usual ways with, of course, the best wrestler alive. Well, he had to face against the best technical wrestler in the world and our current IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, Zack Sabre Jr., or should I say the Master Dickhead, as he calls him, he is now. But of course, this match was going to end with Zack Sabre Jr., and that's exactly what he did after 2 minutes and 37 seconds when he put him in a domino stretch, and just like that, Max Caster had no choice but to tap out. But we did see in the post-match Zack Sabre Jr. approaching Nigel McGuinness to shake hands with them, showing signs of respect, knowing they will face each other the following day. However, as soon as that was cleared out, Max Caster was attacked by Anthony Bowens, who Anthony Bowens feels like, enough with this crap. You are a loser. You keep losing. No one cares about you. But while this was happening, Billy Gunn decided to make Anthony Bowens a stop with this whole thing. But, as you probably guessed, all hell's going to break loose from there. Now, Chris Statlander, as you know, has been trying to get her money that she won from her match in the four-way. Well, Harley Cameron decided to get her the help, but the Bucks decided to hold on to that or something. So basically, it was unsuccessful until Jon Moxley decided that he was going to do something about it, and of course, he did. He gave her money, and then of course, Willard Yuta is still trying to suck up to Chris. Hey, you got to join the Death Riders, but of course, I don't think Death Riders want her in there. They just want her to, unleash hell. I don't know what's going on in that part. Now, our next match, we have Tomohiro Ishii taking on the G1 Climax winner, Konosuke Takeshita. You know this match was going to be a balls-to-walls hoss fight no matter what. I mean, Ishii is the type of person who showed no fear. He doesn't back down from anybody, especially to a guy like Takeshita. But in the end, it was Takeshita who walked away with the win when he applied the Raging Fire, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, our next match, we have Big Bill taking on Mark Andrews, who many of you remember. He is part of Subculture along with Danny Luna and Flash Morgan Webster. So he made his debut, but unfortunately he came up short when he got, of course, a black hole slam onto, of course, by Big Bill. But however, Big Bill decided to punish more Mark Andrews. As you know, Big Bill and Brian Keith are at war against the Bang Bang Gang. So we'll see how things will progress from there. Now, our next match, we had the Gates of Agony along with Ricochet taking on the Grizzled Young Vets. Now, Ricochet, most part, was watching this in the commentary booth, but of course, the idiot was going to get involved no matter what, and that's exactly what he tried to do, but didn't do any favor. But in the end, it was, of course, the Gates of Agony which opened the gates to he launched, of course, Zach Gibson, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, we did see the Bullet Club War Dogs. As you probably know, Gabe Kidd brought in his brethren because he feels that people in AEW, especially also in New Japan, are nothing but fakers. They're trying to steal money from their families. As you probably guess, that's what the idea is. But we'll see what happens at Forbidden Door. Now, our main event, we have Paragon, consisting of Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, taking on the Young Bucks, Rod and Todd, which is funny. Now, of course, things may not have gone well for, of course, some moments of bad luck by Nick Jackson. Basically, he was like on a temper tantrum. But, of course, out of nowhere, that idiot Don Callis showed up to ensure that this match goes in favor of the Young Bucks. But, unbeknownst to them, Kazuchika Okada showed up and gave Kyle O'Reilly the Rainmaker. And then, just like that, they applied the TK driver. And, of course, the Bucks picked up the win. However, in the post-match, we did see whose house? Swerve's house. Well, apparently it was not enough for Swerve to take on the entirety of the Don Callis family alone, taking on the Bucks and, of course, Okada. So it ended, of course, with Swerve getting knocked down. So we'll see what happens until then. But as of right now, keep in mind, boys and girls, we are heading to Forbidden Door, so that's going to be our next episode. So stay tuned for that. But as of right now, we'll end things here. This is our only review. And now let's move on with some news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news update. So this is going to be a bit of a shorter one for everyone. Now, for upcoming events, we only have some Stardom updates for all of you. The first one, as you know, Stardom will be having their next show at Yokohama Budokan, Stardom to the World, on the 6th of April. Now, some matches have been announced to participate for that. Let me pull that up for everybody. That way you know what's coming up. And this is going to be on the 6th of September. In case anybody asks, let's see. Here it is. Okay. As you know, the World of Stardom Championship, aka the Red Belt, will be defended. Sayakami Tani will defend the belt against someone from her past, and of course, the one person that gave her her first loss during the 5-star Grand Prix, that is Bea Priestly. Now, the Wonder of Stardom Championship will be defended. Starlight Kid will defend her belt against Tomoka Inaba. Well, as you all know, I was unable to see the latest Stardom event, which is the finals of the 5-star Grand Prix, but I will review that a bit. We have the IWGP Women's Championship defended. Suri, as you probably heard already, I will review that, of course. Suri was successful in defeating Konami, and now the next challenger is Zuzu Suzuki. And finally, there's a special singles match. Natsuko Tora, the leader of Hate, will take on Mayumi Ozaki. Now, if you guys don't know what I'm referring to about this match, well, recently in Oz Academy, the members of Hate invaded, of course, Oz Academy during a triple threat match for the Oz Academy Openweight Championship, and of course the match ended in no contest. And then of course Raka stole the belt. Seems like now that that Hate are making their mark in Oz Academy, and they're willing to take their belt regardless. But of course, this led, of course, for Sayuri Anu to announce the return of Ozaki-gun to deal with Hate. So we'll talk more about that. Now, the next show for Stardom, as you know, we will have the annual end of the show, last show of the year for Stardom, Dream Queendom, that will take place on the 29th of December at Ryogoku. So I'm looking forward for these two events. Now, on to some developments. A very interesting development. As you all know, Bea Priestly made her return to Stardom, and now it's been announced by the president of Stardom, Taro Okada, that in agreement, Bea Priestly has now signed an exclusive deal with Stardom as now part of the roster. Um, I'm sure many fans are happy about that. Some of you may try to say, didn't she want to go back with AEW? Well, I don't know for sure. I mean, part of me would think maybe she doesn't want to be around AEW for obvious reasons. For those who don't know, she was in a relationship with Will Ospreay, because I never understood what really happened between those two. That's one of my assumptions, but I also believe that maybe she loves being in Japan. And right now she's currently unaffiliated with any factions, but we'll follow more about that front in her Stardom status, and we'll see. And then finally, Nyla Rose recently just won the Eve Championship, which is the all-female promotion, Eve Pro Wrestling. Now, some of you may question: is Eve still? I mean, with Nyla Rose is still with AEW? Well, I haven't got any word about that, but a friend of mine did mention something to me. I will get back to you guys on that to find out more information on Nyla Rose, on what's going on, because I haven't heard anything about Nyla Rose if she was released from the company. But that's pretty much my assumption. But as of right now, I'd say let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, I want to apologize to people because, as you probably know, I was supposed to do a two review episode. The first one was supposed to be Stardom, but due to the nature, I was unsuccessful to watch that because of, if those who don't know, I went to the movies to go see The Naked Gun, and that kind of took me off time because I went out to eat and other things I had to do as well before I did AEW Collision. So I apologize for all of you for that, but I will do that next, and I'll do that as a review part when I do, of course, the Forbidden Door. So that's going to be one subject. Now, I did mention that I will be. In fact, I made a decision recently, and if you saw the last episode, there was too much with two promotions, mostly with the Yoshi Wrestling stuff, with Tokyo Pro Wrestling and of course Mighty Gold. Now, I decided that I'm not going to be doing the entirety of the Burning Desire tour, which is way too much. So I'm just going to focus on the recent, the Dream Star tournament, which is right now their second annual round robin tournament. And as for Tokyo Pro Wrestling, there are a few that I actually will be removing. I decided to see, but I haven't made a decision how exactly I'm going to do that. But as for promotions like Seedling, Pro Wrestling Wave, Sendai Girls, Marvelous, Oz Academy, I will keep those the same way they are. I'm going to catch up with all of those. Nothing too big on those, but because the most major promotion right now in the Yoshi Wrestling world is Mighty Gold, Stardom, and of course Tokyo Pro Wrestling. So those are a bit more difficult, but I'll fix that. So we'll see how things go. But as of right now, I will say this: that I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.